All right, so we're talking about trees. We're talking about what arborists need to do in order to think about how they're going to estimate trees. We're focusing on the Pacific Northwest because that's where we're at. The tree prices here might be different than the tree prices where you're located, but just gives you kind of an idea. So you have to kind of go with the flow where you're at, otherwise you won't have enough work. Here, I'm just going to show you some of the basics for pricing that we do here. And I really do wish that it was standardized across the US and in other countries, but it's just not. And you have to deal with inflation and different things in different places. But let's get to it. So I'm in Portland, just off the Ogden Street. And we're looking at this fir tree. So it's a good sized fir tree. It lost its top, obviously. That's not good. Looks like it's faring pretty well regardless. Hopefully nobody topped it intentionally because it's really not smart. And everybody knows that already, so we're not going to go over that. But you can see it has a little bit of a lean away from the house. That's always good. Somebody in the past has trimmed up some of these lower branches, giving the roof plenty of clearance. That's always something that we're looking for. But what we're going to talk about is crown raising. So crown raising really is one of the most common things that we do as arborists when it comes to trimming and removing. We're crown raising a lot. You can see how this part of the canopy comes down as low as the fence. It's blocking out a lot of light. Now it's January, so there's not a whole lot of angles of light already, but you can see how much it would shade the grass. The grass is dead here. The grass is dead over here, and that has a lot to do with the shading. But what we'd want to focus on is this clump right here. And a really easy trick that I've always gone by is kind of like what we do when we're working for parks, is if you get 14 feet of clearance, that allows a 20-degree angle of light. So some light is going to be able to strike the root system of the tree, that trunk flare that we talk about, that root flare. That's a good place to have some ultraviolet light striking at least an hour or two a day. That's going to make a big difference. But right here, you can see how these branches come out, and they're considerable size. Video's not going to do it justice, but this one right here is about a good 12 inches in diameter. Comes out, loops up, and is pretty heavy. That's just one of the ones that needs to come out, but it's really the main focus of what needs to come out is this branch right here. And then there's 3 or 4 that come out from up above and swoop down into that 14-foot area. So altogether, we would probably be removing about 8 branches to get that look that we're going for. You're also looking for a symmetrical look. So when the canopy's done, it's going to have kind of a symmetrical look all the way around. Not perfectly symmetrical because we want it to look natural, but symmetrical enough that it makes it look nice. And you know what you're looking at when you're looking at things like this. If it's pleasing to your eye, it's going to be pleasing to the customer's eye. If it looks right to you, it's probably going to look right to them. A lot of times they don't know what they're looking for. But anyway, talking about pricing, I like to do a minimum, and that's $300. Now, that's the minimum just to do the crown raising. But on this job, there's some other factors that are involved. This tree grows right in the middle of a fence line. Then on top of it, it's got this additional fence line. This steel fence, nothing's hurting that, but I still don't want to take a chance of hitting it with any of these larger branches. So I've got to rig these branches up. Now, if I could just cut them and let them fall and then park the chipper right here and chip everything up, that would be in the $300 range. But because we have to climb first, number one, if you can get it from the ground, that's still within that $300 range. But if I have to climb, I add another $100 to that. So now we're in the $400 range. Now I'm going to set up rigging to get over this fence. I would charge another, I just mark it up to another $100 probably to do that. And then, so we're rigging out all of this. I would say I would set the bar at $600, even though $500 is really what a person would need to do the job and be paid comfortably. But I think I would also, after $600, give them a discount. So anytime someone's referred, it can make a big difference for them and check out this super ugly car. It can make a big difference to them if you give them a discount. So there's a lot of people out there who respond well, and that's the way that sales work. Sales work like this. Like people respond to a discount in a favorable way. Wow, he really did us a nice favor. He offered us a really good price, and then he gave us a discount because we were referred to them. And that's what I like to do. So if somebody says, hey, call these guys, they're great, they're going to do a good job, I want to make sure that I call that a referral and make sure that they get a better price. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give them probably 10% off, and 10% off of 600, we'll give them 540 for the job. Or excuse me, that was wrong. Was it? Yeah, I'm right. Okay, 540. So it'll be 540 for this job. So we're gonna take that fir tree, crown raise it, haul away all the debris, clean up underneath it, and make it look super pretty for 540. But I'm gonna start at 6, and then I'm gonna give them a little discount. That 10% off for the referral makes all the difference sometimes. It can really seal the deal, and I recommend it whenever you're thinking about this. Part of our job is not just to estimate, not just to inform the customer, but also to influence them to use our company. So keep that in mind whenever you're doing estimates, and I hope that works for you, so give it a shot.